You're listening to the RM Podcast, the official podcast of Red Moon Productions. Here are your hosts, Brandon Davidson, Keith Cheatham, and Sean Sebastian. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to yet another again. I can't speak. Yet again another fine episode
of the RM
of
Podcast.
The Red Moon Podcast. I am one of your hosts on Oscar Eve, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
and
My name is Keith Cheatham. My name is Keith Cheatham. My name is Keith Cheatham.
he got it right this week.
My name is Keith Cheatham.
You're not.
You want to
somebody
kiss her?
else?
My name is Keith
You
Cheatham.
want to kiss her?
My name is Keith Cheatham.
You want to kiss her?
My name is Keith Cheatham.
What in the world? That was one hell of an opening.
I
right there.
mean, apparently in that world, which we're going to get to eventually,
Pandora.
everybody thinks
That's where they were. They were on
everybody
Pandora.
thinks in the same dialogue as Rain Man.
Right.
We'll
yeah,
get
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
get
Well,
there.
I was gonna
Right.
say, yeah. Gosh, yeah. There's
yeah.
so much to discuss on that movie.
Yeah.
But you know, you're right. You're right.
Brad said, sounds like
Pandora.
Pandora.
you know,
Chew you up.
the
and
only
shit you out.
as much he is the only
terrible.
reason I'm interested in the sequels, because even though it doesn't make any sense for him to come back, because he
Absolutely.
absolutely died.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did. No, totally.
Listen, but even though it makes no sense for him to come back,
He's gonna come back as
Yeah.
a freaking dragon. He's gonna come back as one.
Dude,
of those.
if they gotta
He's gonna-
ride him
he's
and
gonna come
connect-
back
Oh.
if they've got to connect their little
Taruk
things,
Maktal.
Stephen Lang.
he's gonna be freaking
Oh.
Taruk.
But yeah, Stephen Lang is the only reason
That's
I
true.
just because he's hilarious.
oh, you got a thing falling
Oh my
off
goodness!
in the
what's
back.
in
What?
the
It's
back?
like it's the little
What?
the foam behind you. No, not on your mic.
Oh,
It's
that.
yeah.
my
It's just kind of
goodness.
there. It is. People can see our jerry rig set here.
It's not staying.
It's not. Just yeah, there you go. You got it. Well,
It's I think it's
it's
dead.
limp. It's limp. We
it's
got to make
dead.
it happy.
Yeah.
You got to make it happy throughout the
Oh
show.
man!
Keith.
Rub
Oh
it.
man!
Maybe
Rub
you
it,
can make it happy during the review.
If I
If you cover it,
it's that
like-
one there. Okay, yeah. I'll just we'll just
you kind of adjust.
Use your body.
there we go. I'll just
You're gonna sit, you're gonna sit
I'll
like
just
that
Ricky
the
Berwick
whole-
it.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh God.
Oh,
Dang.
there we go.
That's pretty good.
Censored.
No, but I honestly, yeah, the movie we've got reviewed for you this week, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not looking forward to this discussion, because really the movie was half baked.
it's kind of pointless.
and
but
yeah, no, it really was.
Mm.
Which I don't know Sean's opinion. I kind of briefly discussed it with Keith yesterday after you recorded the review.
Yeah.
But I am a little bit interested to know what Sean thinks, because we have another sci-fi, what claims to be a sci-fi epic,
yeah.
of
It was-
major proportions.
It's as pointless as all those articles last week stating that Lord of the Rings budget for season 1 was $450
yeah,
million.
yeah. How about that? We
That's
even
crazy though. Really.
It's not true.
There were
It's
so
fake
many. I know
news.
there
No.
were so many articles
Oh,
about
yeah.
that. Like it was
All
just
the
like
major,
gospel.
like,
Hollywood Reporter
Hollywood
was the
Reporter,
one that confirmed it.
Variety,
Yeah.
they all came out and was
yeah.
like, and then Amazon comes out and is like, those are over exaggerated.
Well, this is that classic case of the Australian, I think it was their film board or whatever, basically the ones who promote for people to come there and film.
Yeah.
They were the ones that Hollywood
Why
Reporter
was
did an interview
Australia
with.
doing it when it's
Oh, I'm
New
sorry, New
Zealand?
Zealand. Oh,
That's a major. Yeah, they
Oh,
don't like
that's
each
a
other.
big no-no.
crap.
That's a clash.
That's
Oh.
true. I was just talking about, that's where,
Mm.
wait, hold on, is Australia? No, it's not.
It's
Never
it's north. I mean, that's the
No, New
islands, right?
Zealand is-
it's south
is-
of yeah.
So,
I was
well,
saying Australia's north of New Zealand. I didn't mean
is
New
it
Zealand
kind of to
was-
the west, though?
I think it's. I
'Cause
don't
I could
know.
really piss
Obviously,
off
we
a
don't know.
We don't
We're just
know.
like I think it could be
Listen,
left or right. I
listen.
don't know.
Well,
I
the reason I say that is because
I don't know geometry. It's like, that's
Like,
not,
no,
that's
no,
not
no,
right.
no. That's
Yeah.
Madagascar. You're thinking of a different place.
I was gonna piss off a lot of Tolkien fans and say Australia is like the West. Because it's to the west. It's slightly to the
it's
west.
to the
I mean,
west.
it's west and
Oh.
south. But yeah, no. Tolkien fans would they would do west. That I would even.
Rolling over in their hobbit
But
holes.
no, so Hollywood Reporter did the
Failed.
interview with New Zealand's film. I forget. I gotta pull up the article. It's we linked to it on our Facebook.
We did
because it
The,
was pretty
it was
astronomical.
pretty major. I was like, that's impressive.
I was like, the
mean,
entire three film trilogy cost $200 million. Now, granted, that was 20 years
Yeah.
ago, but still, the fact that 20 years ago you produced
They made
timeless
all
classics,
3 films for $200 million and one season. Granted, they did say that the $250 million was spent just getting the rights from the Tolkien estate. So it's possible they may have been lumping that into
well, and
the
that's
budget from the first
exactly
season.
what I think is happening.
Yeah.
Because then you talk about the subsidies that they're
Yeah.
giving in terms of like $100 million credit to like
Well,
to
and they
Hollywood.
also said
and
a lot of the budget is going towards building miniatures and sets and costumes that are going to be used for the lifetime of
Right.
the show. So
Right.
even if season 1 costs a little bit more, the other seasons won't
I
cost
mean,
that
it's
much.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
definitely not chump change.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I think this is a comment or a this is a perfect example of where Hollywood Reporter goes to them, does an interview. They tell Variety. Variety's like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing. We're going to print the same article."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Great. Now we're fact checked. We've got 2 major publications agreeing on this information, so we've got our sources checked, and we're okay."
Yeah.
And so it gets
as long
out
as,
there.
as long as 2 legitimate news stations report it, it's real.
Well, exactly.
It's
Exact-
not
fake.
yeah, it's not incorrect at all.
But to be fair, the person's information that this is all coming from, that it is fake news, was former head of was it I forget, Amazon Prime Studios.
yeah.
Because they're obviously the ones that are
Yeah,
producing.
they were
the
former
show.
heads, so maybe he's wrong too.
I
Maybe
think
he
it's a
doesn't
she.
know.
I think it's a she.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I gotta look.
Maybe they're
I'd
former
pull
for
up
a
the
reason.
article or something.
I don't
I'd
have
hate
the
to
article.
be that
I don't
terribly
have
wrong.
the article.
You've got access to our Facebook.
Share.
Just like everybody out there
Well, I
does,
don't. We didn't
because
we
they
didn't
can
post,
follow us
we
on
didn't
social
post,
media.
We didn't
I'm trying to
post
do
the
a
article.
plug.
I know.
I'm trying to do a plug for our social
I know,
media.
but we didn't post the
Plug.
article on Facebook saying it was fake. Only the one that was saying
Right.
it's 450.
That's why we're here on the podcast tonight.
I
Talking
know,
about
but you
it.
said pull up the article. It's not on our Facebook. The one saying it was fake.
No, I don't want to
I have
pull
to
up
dig
that
through
one.
it, the text.
I want to pull up the other one.
Oh my god.
I want to talk about it's all over the place.
Let's see. Amazon Studio. Sharon Tal
See, it was a woman.
a former
I was right.
She was a former executive at Amazon Studios. So she may not
Amazon.
know. Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon
Amazon.
Studios.
Amazonian.
She said, "This is her tweet. Imagine if you actually had the correct numbers and didn't report fake news."
Oh man, that's shots fired.
But here's the thing: she was former. She doesn't work with Amazon anymore, so maybe she's wrong. Maybe they're still right.
But I think she's.
I
right.
think she's right. Yeah.
Because if you do the digging, and she even kind of breaks it break it down into like the subsidies and whatnot that they're getting, I think it's still a ridiculous number. I think it's going to be on the order of like 150.
it does say
200
she
million.
was its lead executive while she was at Amazon Studios.
Right.
So I mean, she would know.
And the
you would
thing
hope.
is even still 150, 200 million. If you estimate that, taking away everything else, that like you said, Game of Thrones, one season of it was 100.
Well, they have
million.
they have
Yeah.
over 100 million in subsidies. It says this is the government added another 5% rebate onto the existing 20%
So
rebate.
25% of this film
Yeah.
is being considered written off by the government of
Yes.
New Zealand to film there, which already you can 25% of 465 million is a good chunk of change.
Yeah, it is.
So, but right there at the bottom of your screen, I already alluded to it. Red Moon Book, Red Moon Tweet, Red Moon Picks, Red Moon Productions on YouTube. Search for us there. And like,
everything.
share,
Well,
subscribe.
I think. I mean, as fun as it. I mean, we're
should get
huge
to the review.
Lord of the Rings fans,
I
and
guess
hey, we're
so.
still within the 10 minutes though. I'll
we
just say-
are.
but I'll
That's
just
always
say-
our goal.
Yep.
We want to be entertaining, but our goal is always 10
But I'm
minutes
saying
into the show.
we're massive Middle Earth Lord of the Rings fans, so
We're
it's something
nerds.
we just kind of had. Plus, we wanted to correct ourselves. We wanted people to understand. We know that the news we helped report.
He tried.
Hit the
He's
button
like, oh,
wrong.
whoops. I don't know if that's the
Absolutely.
right one.
But I'm just saying we wanted to clear the air and say, hey, look, we know we also helped share fake news, and we apologize.
Well, and that's
Yep.
the thing. We never want to be accused of sharing
hey,
fake
hey,
news.
when it's confirmed by Hollywood Reporter and Variety, you got to think, hey, there's something legitimate
we
about this.
trust them.
Because
okay?
you know, like mainstream media outlets can never report fake news.
Never.
right.
Come on, they're never wrong. We already know that.
Rotten Tomatoes has this film are reviewing it like what 77%.
No, 22 critic wise.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about audience.
76
Audience is-
audience.
76.
But
Is
see,
that-
that's-
is that fake news?
Well, no, that's audience score. Like that's just
Well, I was
people's
gonna
opinion.
say, even
yeah.
the critical score, it's
Is
like
that-
you're talking about an aggregate.
Yeah.
So people's opinions, I mean, that's an opinion
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
But when you go to Hollywood Reporter, Variety, you're looking for actual factual sources.
Well, here's the thing. When
like you
any-
would think with the New York Times and
I was actually factually trying to just set us up for the
I know
review.
you were. I know you were.
If he's being honest,
If
that's
I'm
what
being
he was
honest,
trying
that's
to
what I was
do.
going for.
I guess we can get to it now. So yes,
Yeah, we're
here-
at the 10-minute mark now. We can roll
I
it.
think we've surpassed it.
No,
Here's-
it's 9:10. We can roll it. Go for it.
Oh, we did. Is it?
It,
Yep,
it
it
won't
is
be if
now.
you don't hurry
Oh
up.
gosh, I better
You're
get
gonna miss
to
the
it.
window.
Here's our review of Chaos Walking.
Hollywood has long been hit or miss when it comes to adapting films from novels. From the well-made epics such as The Lord of the Rings to the dumpster fires that are A Wrinkle in Time or The Dark Tower. There is so much content to choose from and so many potential stories to profit off of, and some adaptations are just made for a quick buck, which is how we get Jack Black in Gulliver's Travels. Though some adaptations are made because those making it know the enormous potential of the story, which is how we get Best Picture winners like Silence of the Lambs. Hollywood's latest book-to-film adaptation, Chaos Walking, adapted from the novel The Knife of Never Letting Go, falls somewhere in between. Starring Tom Holland as Todd Hewitt, Chaos Walking is a science fiction tale of a colony from Earth that settles on a new planet, only to discover that due to the native species on the planet, they are capable of hearing each other's thoughts, which they come to dub the Noise. After the native planet's species, known as the Spackle, murder all of the town's women, the men are left to fend for themselves, and Todd has spent his life growing up on his family farm, having never seen a woman. Until one fateful day, a scout ship crash lands on the planet, with its only survivor being Viola, played by Daisy Ridley. Todd discovers the crashed ship and immediately tells the town's mayor, David Prentice, portrayed by Mads Mikkelsen. Viola is soon found and taken to the mayor, a man who Todd idolizes, but whose motives are revealed to be less than altruistic. With Todd's help, Viola escapes, and the two set out for a village Todd was told about by his family, where Viola will be safe. Chaos Walking is a brilliantly intriguing idea, with plenty of fun sci-fi elements promising a compelling and unique story. And though I've not read the novels, I'm sure that promise is fulfilled within their pages. On film, however, the promise is sadly hollow. The idea of people being able to hear others' thoughts as the Noise in a dystopian society where everyone is just trying to do their part to survive is a compelling one, with people having to learn to hide their thoughts and get along with each other while hearing other internal, personal, or even secret thoughts is a scary and compelling concept. Sadly, not a lot is done with the idea itself. Some characters' abilities to manifest illusions based on the visualizations of their thoughts also plays an important factor in the movie's plot, but is not developed much outside of when it's used, ultimately providing a lot of opportunity for depth and rich storytelling, an opportunity director Doug Liman squanders. Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, and Mads Mikkelsen all play their roles well, and give off good performances with what they have to work with. Holland is quirky, and his naivete when it comes to women, the mayor, and the world outside his village is played well, but that's essentially all the depth we get from his character. Ridley's Viola is even less developed, lacking any character development outside of being the reason the whole film's plot is put into place. Mikkelsen as the villainous mayor is again fine, but also lacking depth, nor any real presence. He's never a villain I'm afraid of, or one whom I fear the heroes can't overcome, making for a low-stakes film. At the end of the day, the recurring theme for Chaos Walking is lack of depth. Lack of depth in story, lack of depth in character development, and lack of depth in world building. The story is a promising idea that I wanted to see more from, and kept me curious enough to want to read the novels, but not intrigued enough to care to revisit this film. It's not bad, but it doesn't offer enough for me to care or see it again. I give Chaos Walking 2.5 out of 4 stars.
2.5.
Yeah, I
Out of
didn't
4
think it was as bad as critics say it is. I don't think it's as good as average
Yeah.
audiences think it is either. I fell kind of right in the middle, and I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it's a very dull, pointless movie lacking any depth of character, plot, or
That
anything
sounds
else.
like a
I
bad
would say
movie.
it sounds like exactly what your review said, and I couldn't agree
Well,
more.
I mean, to me, a bad movie is something that's like the acting's bad, the production's
Yes.
bad. Like it's not bad; it's just bland.
oh
It's
yeah, within
mediocre,
the
yeah.
first 10 minutes when I didn't laugh, I was like, well, this is gonna be
Well,
okay.
I was hooked. Like the kind of the first,
I was like, I
honestly,
wasn't
the
writing it
first
off
half
completely.
hour, I was interested. I was like, okay, this is an interesting concept. I'm interested to see where it goes. And then about the time she escapes the mayor's house and
Yep.
nothing really happens after that, I'm like, okay, this
Honestly,
movie has nothing to
the
offer.
moment she was captured, because I thought the concept was cool, but I fell out apart with the whole like, oh, stranded survivor escaping. Like when he sees her jumping out of the
barn or
the
the
barn originally
she's-
and running
yeah.
off, and he chases after
Yeah.
her, and they're I just thought, again, generic. You've seen it before. Nothing new, nothing fresh. Even the concept was so bland, poorly handled. It kept making me think, okay, this is a concept you pulled from a book, from a novel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you didn't develop into anything. You just made a bland, generic movie.
It made me interested in the book because I think the idea of like what the noise is and the fact that they can hear each other's thoughts is like there's a lot of really interesting things that could go along with that, but they didn't really
They
like
didn't
obviously
go
like
there in the film.
the fear
Nowhere.
of people and then the ability to try to hide it because you are afraid of like your thoughts just being out in the open constantly. But even that was very seldom used to like it's just like I gotta hide my noise. And
Yeah.
I was just like all of their thoughts were very simplistic. Like I don't like
Oh
when
my
I
God.
think sometimes like I'll just if I'm cutting the grass doing whatever I go into full blown monologues about whatever the heck and it jumps from
Yes.
place to
Yep,
place
all over.
and
Yep.
all of them sounded like Dustin Hoffman and Rain Man. They did.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they did.
every single one of them. And I was fine with Tom Holland's character sounding that way. It's like, okay, maybe he's quirky. He's obviously been raised kind of secluded his whole life. He's never seen a girl. Like, I can understand him having like those kind of simplistic. But when everyone,
Everybody.
Here's the thing.
Everyone.
That thought alone, if I just throw that out there, which we're all adults probably watching this show, but if you just throw out the idea of never seeing a girl, like
Yeah.
the vast concept
Yeah.
of what a girl is or what you may think they are, the fact that you even know what one, because obviously he has a mother. They
Yeah.
allude to that. He
Yeah.
knew her at some point. But the idea is just this simple, like, your mind would just start racing. And it would just go through all of these thoughts.
Yeah.
And it was like they didn't take any creative time whatsoever to truly think out a thought pattern of what would be some logical paths. And again, you could get really way crazy out there and then backtrack so you can make some kind of sense.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah.
Sean sitting next door, it's like it makes me wonder if because I know everybody has different forms of internal monologue and thinking, and I was like, maybe the director just his thinking process is extremely simplistic, and he just assumes every like based on the
Well,
movie, it's like maybe
yeah.
he just assumes that's how everybody thinks.
Yeah,
It's
we
like-
thought everybody sounded like the dog in Up.
Yes.
With the collar. It's
Yes.
like ball.
When he's
Ball.
chasing
Ooh,
after her,
squirrel.
he's like
Squirrel.
He did though. When he's chasing after her, he goes orange, like because of her. And I was like,
Her pants.
Why?
yeah, and
or
he's like
orange or
orange. And
It
I'm
is
just like,
Orange.
okay.
I'm just
Well,
like-
it does. It diluted everything down to this animalistic behavior. And it's like, but none of these people you show acting in an animal behavior.
No.
So their rational thoughts have to be somewhat comprehended by the audience, and you have to somewhat see that played out.
I think that was the major issue, like one of the major themes of the movie that I did not care for was the animalistic nature of the men. I felt like the movie was setting it up as men are very insecure and very vulnerable if their thoughts are out there and open, and the main reason they get rid of all the women is because they feel vulnerable and they feel like there's the women could keep secrets and conspire behind
against
them
them,
and
yeah.
things like that. But I'm just like, it's showing the insecurity of men and the superiority of women, and I didn't have a problem with that. But then your only female character in the movie was she wasn't used in
Yeah.
any significant way.
Well,
So I'm
right.
like, you're trying to go for this kind
Kind
of
of
like I said, kind of dumbing down men, and then you put this woman
Well,
in there,
I don't
and
think
she
it was
didn't even.
just dumbing down men. I think it was dumbing down the entire concept.
Well, it was.
It was
went
watering
nowhere.
it down to the point of every cool aspect that you expected to be played out in the sci-fi. I mean, again, you have once again something cool that's introduced at the very beginning.
Yes.
And I even love the quote. I forget what it is, sadly.
Yeah, the men's thoughts.
oh, yeah.
It's just a bunch of men walking around.
It would
Right.
be
Chaos walking or
Well,
something.
and
Yeah,
that's
something
and
like
the weird part about it is, I'm like,
men's
you're
thoughts
setting
without
up
if you didn't have a filter, it would just be
chaos
Yeah.
walking,
Yeah.
which is funny because I'm like, that's exactly what I expected to see.
That's what it should be. I
Yeah.
told,
But
like,
it wasn't.
Another thing I told to Sean was like when she's talking to the mayor when they first take her to his house, he's like, it's overwhelming, isn't it? But all you hear is just like this mild droll of the people outside, like, what's she doing in there? What's going on? And they're all thinking the
Yeah.
same thing. And I'm like, that's not.
That's not. No.
It's like, you know what is overwhelming? Bruce Almighty, when he gets God's ability to hear everyone's prayers and he can't handle it. It's like
Yes.
it's like that's what they should have done in this movie is when the first time she can hear a whole town's village, it should be driving her
Sad,
crazy.
But then there's the other side of that, which is the projection aspect, where they can project wooden fences popping up, and
Yeah.
they can project another person,
And I mean,
and things like that. I'm like, But that didn't. To me, that didn't. They didn't explain the ability to do that at all. It was just, well, they know how to control their noise. But I'm like, I can't control my thoughts
Right.
into making someone believe that there's someone standing there.
I think the whole point is like, yeah,
It was
they,
like-
you could hear their thoughts, but now it's gone on to another level where you can see their thoughts, and that's fine. But they never once
They
like,
don't
said
explain
that.
that.
Yeah,
They
because
don't-
I can understand if you could see what you're thinking, and if you think of this fence, then that's how you would do that. But they never explain that you can. Oh, you can also some people are so good at it that
Well,
you
all
can
they
see
and
their
all they
thoughts.
used
Yeah.
that for was a hierarchy.
Yes.
They just used that to set up why he's
The
the
mayor, yeah.
And it pissed
Well,
me
the
off
only other
because I'm
guy
like,
that can do it is Todd's dad. He's one of Todd's dads. He's the only one that like actually uses that because he projects an image of Daisy Ridley to try to give them 5 extra seconds of runtime
Right.
to get away, which I thought was that the whole scene
Well,
was pointless.
Todd
It was-
accidentally does it when we see
when he
the clip
sees
where
him
he tries
just
to
thinking
kiss.
he's kissing
yeah.
her.
Well,
Yeah.
not only that, but I thought it was kind of cool. Like I liked that scene, but it was one of those instances where I was like, this would have been better had you set up a bunch of backstory that
Yeah.
supplanted the idea of this being unique. And that honestly, it would have been a better movie if take the girl out of it for a second and just focus on his unique ability of trying to home this in and control it. And I thought that was kind of how the mayor, who Mads Mikkelsen plays, was going to play a part in the film. Was you kind of see him as, he takes him under his wing, and his father warns him like, hey, he's not a real good guy, but yet it gets all lost in the shuffle because you have one moment of him like thinking, I'm going to go tell the mayor, I'm going to be an upstanding, like I'm going to be right with him. And yet it goes from that directly into, now we understand he's the bad guy and what he's really after just to maintain control. And I was like, it's so surface level. There's no depth. And ultimately, too, I just felt like for this to be kind of supposed to be the kickoff of a greater series of sci-fi epics.
Nope.
Again, like
It's
where's
not
the
gonna go
origin?
anywhere,
It's
yeah.
not.
Well, even the world building was what destroyed the sci-fi element for me. You have this good setup of them being able to see each other and hear each other's thoughts. I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of cool. They never went anywhere with it. We all agree on that. But then I'm like, the world they're in is supposed to be this other planet. They throw in a couple of aliens. You see the spackle for 2.5 minutes in one fight, and then he eats a water snake tentacle thing or whatever. But I mean, like, beyond that, they have regular water, they have regular air. Every plant is.
It looks like
there's
Earth,
birds tweeting in the movie. You
Yep.
can hear birds tweeting. So there's birds on this other planet that's 65 years of travel time away.
That was
so I'm
actually
just like, you just made it look exactly like Earth.
Right.
It didn't look like an alien planet at all, other than the spackle and
Yeah.
one
Which
other
again,
little.
and that just
creature.
goes to all the fact that they just sprinkled in so much of what you can almost imagine would have been greater depth in terms of chapters in a book.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you had
yeah.
brought it up when you got done with the recording of the review.
I looked
in
into
the book.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but I looked into to see some of the differences, and we talked about it next door as well.
Yeah,
'cause
Brian did the same
Brian
thing,
looked at
yeah.
the same article actually, but yeah, one of the things they mention is the fact that they could hear the animals, like every species on that planet, you can hear.
You
Its
can hear their
thoughts.
thoughts.
And there was one thing in the book, his dog, he could hear his dog's thoughts, and they were simplistic thoughts. Which, I mean, everybody in this movie had simplistic thoughts, but but he could still hear,
Yeah.
and it's like that was something that I thought would have been really cool. And I guess the director either just thought it was too cheesy or just wasn't skilled enough to pull it off and make it believable. But
yeah, even Brian
Yeah.
pointed out an issue with there was a scene
Oh,
where
yeah.
they get to the other camp or whatever, and there's people sleeping, and Tom Holland says, does that guy, is he always that loud or whatever? And he's hearing a baseball game being played.
like his dreams.
Right, yeah, but these people they've been there for generations.
Yeah.
So how would he know what a baseball
game
sounds
like or
Right.
looks like?
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Holland would technically be, in that amount of time, he would be the third generation. So
Yeah.
only his great grandfather would even
Yeah,
know.
because there's no stadiums
Right,
built.
but
There's
that
nothing
brings
on
me
this
back.
planet.
That
They've
kind of
just
brings
been
me back to the
survival.
dog. I don't recall ever seeing any other dogs.
True.
So is that dog 65 years old? How did he get there?
Right.
Like it just didn't
Whereas
make any
other-
sense
yeah.
to me.
No, I completely agree. It's and that's the problem with the backstory. I almost would have been better off if they just had like a primal start to the film of like, again, when they encountered this noise and where it came to be, or a whole another culture that was kind of set up to help time pass, because you don't see any of that.
No.
You see some bits and pieces of old technology from what was before.
Mhm.
But ultimately, yeah,
Like the guns, he says those are 20 years old. They don't even. How do we know they work anymore?
right, and
or,
and
you
even
know.
the technology within the guns, how there's some old ones versus the newer ones that are plasma rifles or something.
Right.
But even then, it's like with the dreams, it's like you see a baseball game, but again, something that's so abstract that you could really dive into the creative ways to tell that or sell it,
Mhm.
and it takes the most simplest approach and the most milquetoast approach on every single aspect. And that's ultimately what I think just kills this film.
What did you give it?
I gave it 2.
Oh, okay.
I gave it 2 out of 4. I thought it had enough. Again, had a lot of different elements that were like, yeah, this has the beginnings of something that could be interesting, but they go nowhere with it, and it
Okay.
just completely wasted my time.
I
Sean,
was at 1.5.
Wow.
Yep, I
You
hated
really hated it.
I did.
Oh wow.
See, I think that's what I gave A Wrinkle in Time. I didn't think it was that bad.
30 minutes into it, I was done.
Yeah, I mean that's
just
wow.
it didn't go nowhere for
You
me.
didn't care to watch the rest of it at all.
I watched it.
right, but I'm
I
saying
didn't-
you weren't interested.
Wasn't
nothing
interested at all.
Wow.
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I just
The Maze Runner set up
Yeah.
a better thing than this movie did.
I actually would agree with that. The first
yeah.
one. I don't
Yeah.
know about the second
no,
one.
no.
I've
I'm
never-
just
I've
saying,
never
if
seen
you
any
want
of
to take
those.
a tween
Right.
book thing series and a sci-fi series,
Well-
and Ender's Game was better than this movie.
Yeah, well, one thing, like, when the movie first started, and the movie I'm about to mention is way, way better, but it was giving me, like, the Children of Men vibe. Which is because all the women
Oh,
are gone.
God,
Granted,
yeah.
in that movie, it's not that they're gone, but they can't give birth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is kind of an interesting concept, but it was nowhere near as well
Yeah.
done.
No.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even the reveals, like we were talking about, just some of the cool things that could have been better payoffs had they been better built up to. But even some of just the reveals of how things came to be, why there's only men, no women. I just thought they were also done poorly. And it's weird how it makes me curious enough to want to go back and read the book.
Mm-hmm.
But then again,
You
it's
don't
like
read.
I
We
don't
don't
read.
read.
So it's like why I'm
Keith
not
knows
going.
we
to.
don't read.
And then sadly, this film didn't make me want to read it because I was just like, well, I know enough of it. I'm just gonna pass it.
It's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done
Just
now.
read the cliff notes.
That's right. Alrighty, guys. I think that's gonna do it for our talk on
Yeah.
Chaos Walking. But yes, 2.5 out of 4 stars for Chaos Walking. I think we are now ready.
All right. If you're
the big
listening
reveal.
or if you're chiming
We're
in,
about to get into
if
some.
you've seen it, tell us what you gave it.
Yeah,
Go
let us
ahead
know.
and let us know in the comments.
Yes,
And Keith, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying. Now we're about to get into the
oh,
the
Goods.
the big stuff.
whew, the
the
thick of it.
big-
Actually, here's the thing.
big
I would
one.
normally be more like. It's not that I always enjoy like our conversations about what we pick and why. I would just be more excited if I actually cared this year. I'm just saying. Every year I care a little less about the Oscars, and I mean
Yeah.
I still
Yeah,
love
I
them
So
agree.
does
because
everybody
but-
else.
Yeah.
The ratings will prove that.
Well, no doubt. And honestly, sadly, I think I care. It's more because of the broadcast. Because I'll be honest, I was looking through some of my picks and even some of the films, and there were a couple where I was like, you know what? I actually don't think this is one of the worst years in at least the past 5 or 6. I actually saw more films a part of this year's nominations that I actually enjoyed
Yeah,
watching.
I can agree with that.
And so it really made me think, I can't stand the broadcast because of how political they've gotten over the years.
Yeah.
But I actually am more excited about this year's winners than
You're excited
years
for the
past.
filmmakers.
I
and-
don't,
Right.
and
I
less
don't know
for
honestly because I was looking at some of the past ones
celebrities.
and I just felt like this is. I mean, other than like the last 2 years, I just felt like this is one of the weakest years. Like, there's really only about 2 movies I really.
Wow.
I mean, Sound of Metal and Nomadland. The rest of them I liked.
I agree,
but they're not.
I
they're
didn't
not
mind
movies.
The other ones.
I don't mind
Judas and
them.
the Black
And the
Messiah
Father. I'll say
and
there's
the
3.
Father, yeah.
There's those 3. But other than
Minari,
those,
I thought was good.
yeah, I liked. I'm not saying I didn't like them, but here's the thing. I rewatch constantly a lot of old nominees and winners. I don't really care to revisit most of these again.
Well, but I'll be honest. Like the year Green Book won, I thought that was
That was a
relatively
very weak year.
year.
Yes.
and then
No.
we followed that up by
That
one of
was-
the strongest years right after. That wasn't last year.
no,
was it?
that was the year before last.
Right, because Parasite won last year, and I
yes.
thought I thought the deck last year with 1917.
yes,
and
last
plenty
year.
others.
yeah.
Well, let's just say last year I think was,
Yep.
and maybe that's what it was because last year I thought was
Just so
such a
stellar.
better year that I was kind of disappointed.
But
in
let's
this
get
one.
into it. Let's talk about it. We're gonna finally give you our official Oscar picks.
Yeah.
in our headlines this
Yeah.
week. Let's do it. Mayhem,
Oh, I was like the only
craziness.
one not dancing. Oh, why you hit 2 of them at the same time?
I didn't know
I
they
didn't
would
know you
work.
could do that.
That's really awesome. We'll
Now I
try.
want to try to do like
Here, let
4
me
of
hold it
them.
still.
I didn't know you
great.
could.
You can
Can we
do
do
them
3?
all.
Hold on, I'm gonna do 3.
It's like a canoe.
Hey, that was actually good.
gosh.
I'm gonna hit 5 now.
Oh, you just overloaded it.
Yeah, I had no
I
idea
think,
what to
I
do.
think 5 is a little too.
Yeah, it couldn't figure that one out.
4, actually, I was like, hey, maybe this will add a little
Actually, I
bit.
skipped 4. I did 3, and then I went to 5. I skipped 4.
Okay.
I got overexcited.
Yep.
I just
You know,
think maybe like you
I
all
flew
have
too
been-
close to the sun.
Chaos walking, I'm telling you.
Oh,
No,
God.
I think honestly, y'all been digging at me for like weeks about how I need to add new sounds.
do.
I think now if
Look, you got
just-
2 blank ones, and then we have
Dude,
ones we
if-
never used that you could replace.
I know, but if you press 3 or more now you make a new variety. It spices things
I'll
up.
say, what if you did push these and it did something? That'd be funny.
That would be funny.
What are you
If
talking
you
about?
pushed
The
the
blank
blank
ones.
ones and it actually like did a noise that you didn't even put
It's
on
a
there.
secret one. I'm gonna make it like a game
it's
each
a
week.
Easter egg.
I'm gonna hide a secret one on there, and you won't know.
It's
Oh, that'd
not
be
labeled
fun.
correctly.
Alrighty, guys.
Yep.
Finally, we're ready to do it. Let's talk about our Oscar picks.
Let's get
We've got
to
a
it.
litany to go through.
litany,
A litany,
a plethora.
plethora, a ton. That's right. It's our Oscar.
We
picks
got a lot.
for 2021. Are we gonna? You know what? Should we just not spoil anything and start out with the granddaddy, or should we work our way up? I'm gonna let y'all decide.
I feel like you got to save Best Picture for last.
All right.
Because who cares after you announce the Best Picture?
Let's start with visual effects.
Okay.
Right at the bottom.
Mm.
I believe
Mm.
that Love and Monsters will win, and that is who I want to win.
I disagree. I don't think they're going to show any love to Love and Monsters.
Oh God!
It is the. I think they're just going to throw it to Tenet. But I
Oh,
do
wow.
want Love and Monsters to win. I think Tenet will win. Love and Monsters is what I want to win.
Sean, what about you?
I want Love and Monsters, and I have Tenet to win.
Wow!
we're
All
on
right.
the
So
same
if
page
you
on that
all
one.
win,
Yep.
if you all win that battle, then you have 1 point above me.
Yeah.
Which I have not.
We're better than you.
Should we officially on this show? Is like every single category 1 point except for, I think like director should be like 3 and picture should
Why
be
you get
5.
all-
Oh wow.
Why don't they just leave
Should
them
we
all
do it-
1 point?
All of them 1 point.
Well, because I mean, you know,
Because what happens if we all have different like best picture winners, and that could be the one that edges
I kind
someone
of feel
out?
like the Best Picture winner is going to be the easiest one to predict.
You think
I
so?
don't know.
I actually don't know that.
I don't know.
We're
I think we
already
might all have different
disagreeing.
ones because I know mine's different from Brandon's.
Let me
Yeah.
put it this way, so we don't have to.
I had mine in first.
That's true. He
I
did.
want to point that out.
You did have yours.
I
Oh, you
had-
didn't change it at all.
I have not changed it.
So
Even
Minari.
after watching Minari
that was the
and
only
the
one
Father,
he'd seen.
I haven't changed
so,
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We'll discuss that off the show.
will.
We'll come up with a thing.
But
and
but
we'll score
anyway,
guide.
yeah, let's
Well,
go.
well, here's the thing: do we count want to win? Is also do you get a point for
No.
want to win? Okay, that's
No.
what I thought.
It-
I just want to make
no,
sure.
no. Actually, I think one year
What if we do
did.
half points for want to win?
No, it was you get a point if it was what you wanted to win and it did win.
That should
I
be
think
2
you
points.
get a point. So you get 2 points total.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're
yeah.
right. You're right. I think
Yeah.
we did that last year, so we'll continue that. So we can at least
Okay,
on
wait,
the
wait, wait.
show for the record.
I'm confused. 'Cause why would you get like? What if you say will win and you get it wrong, but what you want to win wins? That's still not. That's not 2 points.
the
for that.
only way you get a point for if you wanted something to win
Is
is
if
if
it-
it wins. That's it.
Okay, yeah, but that doesn't. You're not making sense. If what I want to win wins, but it's not what I predicted as what will win.
That's what I'm saying. You won't get a point.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
you won't get
okay.
a point.
Well, you just said the only way you get a point is if what you want to win wins. And I'm
Okay,
like,
all right.
Yes,
well,
exactly.
Let's just make it. If you get the
I know.
what will win, if you get that right, because that's the one that actually does win.
Yes.
Then you get a point. The
Okay.
want is fantasy draft.
Yeah,
That's just our fantasy pick.
Right,
Okay.
but
so the wills
if
are the ones
you-
we're graded on.
Yes,
Okay.
it's true.
That was
Okay.
what I'm saying.
But what I was gonna say is, in addition to, if what you wanted, if it wins, and it was also what you wanted to win, then you get an extra.
you get an
point.
extra point.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, that's
All
what
right.
wasn't clear.
That
That's
makes
what I'm
sense.
saying.
because it just
Yeah.
sounded like you're saying that even though I
No.
had what
No.
will win wrong
That-
because yeah.
Because then we all
yeah,
win.
that's what I'm saying.
All right. All right. What's next?
We'll hammer these out off the show.
What's next?
We just lost all our viewers.
Yeah,
we did.
yeah.
Okay. The next one up is costume design. I want Ma Rainey's Black Bottom to win.
Okay.
I believe Pinocchio will win. And
For
I know
costume
people
design.
out there who are probably like, what the hell is Pinocchio?
No.
Go look it up.
It's
it
impressive.
was a live action film
Mhm.
that did come out last year.
I
that
think it's an
not-
Italian film.
I think it's I was gonna say it's a foreign film, so not a lot of buzz in the States for it.
Mhm.
But it is an actual legitimate. I
I-
think it looks fantastic.
No, yeah, it does. I don't think it's not who I picked for who I think will win for costume design. I do have it, but not for that. I think Ma Rainey's will win for costume design, and that's also who I want to win.
Okay. Sean, what about you?
I want Ma Rainey, but I think Mulan will get best costume design.
Gosh, if that wins,
I
hope you all are wrong.
I seriously thought about giving Mulan visual effects just because that's how stupid the Academy is sometimes. They gave the Golden
No.
Compass.
I know.
They gave the Golden Compass visual effects. So for a moment I thought about it. I was like, no, surely they can't be that
but
stupid.
that's actually
Yeah.
the first category. We're already on our second pick,
Yeah.
and that's our first category where we all differ. So it could be the game right there.
'Kay.
That could be it. All right, next one is original song. I would like Husavik from Eurovision, the saga. What is it?
I have no clue.
Song contest, the story of Fire Saga.
Yeah.
I want that one to win.
Have you listened to it, or did you just choose it because?
No, I watched way back when Eurovision came out last summer. I watched it, and I actually think it's a decent song.
Oh, I haven't seen
like,
Eurovision.
It's not a good movie.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell's not as good.
You know who
Pierce Brosnan in it is hilarious.
You know who I picked? I want to win for this category.
Hold on, I haven't
Go for
picked
it.
who I
Go
think
for
will
it.
win.
Go for it.
I think Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah
Okay.
will win.
I think Speak Now will win. I put any of them, none of them. I am completely indifferent towards all the nominees in this category this year as who I want to win. I really don't care. I don't want any of them.
Well, you're definitely not getting an extra point on that.
I
Category.
was like, I can't pick one because I don't care about any of them
okay.
for want to win. But I think Speak Now from One Night in Miami will
I was
will
gonna say he
win.
doesn't even know what movie it's from
Yeah.
because he doesn't care.
It's the least.
That's how I am, but I picked Judas and the Black Messiah. I want and will,
Okay.
and it's not because I really want it to. It's just because I don't really care.
Yeah.
You got
Well,
two
so-
the same.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
All right, moving on to the next one. Makeup.
Yep.
I think, and I want.
I didn't know we ever did makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the major categories.
Yeah,
We basically just don't do
Hold
like
on a second.
documentary.
We don't do documentaries, foreign films, or shorts.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Because no one cares about those.
They're a waste of time
People-
unless you win them.
Actually, I do like documentaries, but I understand. Like most people don't care who wins those. So
But
Actually, I like foreign films too,
It's
but
the
still.
one thing where it's not mainstream.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so makeup, I actually want and believe Ma Rainey's Black Bottom will take home the gold.
Oh, I picked Pinocchio for makeup.
Oh, there was
I
the
think
one.
that
Okay.
was the one because it is impressive. Like the whole that's makeup that they used to make him look like the wooden puppet.
Yeah, it's
And I was
amazing.
like, that was really impressive. I think that's who will win. I chose Hillbilly Elegy for want to win.
Okay.
They made Glenn Close. I mean, she
looks dead up.
they
like-
didn't have to do
yeah.
a whole lot, but still, they
Yeah.
did a lot.
Sean, who do
I
you
gotta
have?
go.
with
I
a
gotta
little-
look because I didn't do
Oh.
makeup. I didn't think we ever did makeup.
Oh, okay.
Hold on a second.
Well, here we can move on and we'll go back to makeup.
We can come back.
Production design.
I had to toss this one back and forth a little.
I think Mank will win. And I want Tenet to win. And I only picked Tenet here because
You wanted to give it something.
I was gonna say I wanted to give it something.
That's why I gave it CGI.
I know, but I just don't think. Well, not CGI.
I know visual
effects.
effect. Well, I
It
think-
had
yeah,
CGI.
yeah, but it had a lot of great practical effects too,
Right.
which I think warrants it for getting visual
And
effects
we,
more.
we
so.
know Nolan is known for that.
Yep.
But I will say, I just wanted to give it something, and this is one of those categories where sadly I didn't care too much. However, if Mank walked away with it, I wouldn't mind because of it being a period piece and with the
Well, that's
black and white.
That's
I
why
thought-
I chose Ma Rainey's as want to win. It was a period
Yeah.
piece. I thought it was really well done.
True.
I liked the sets and everything with that. I thought the production design on that was good. That's who I chose want to win. I did put Mank as who I think will win.
Okay.
So we actually same on that. It's
Yeah,
funny.
same.
We have different
Different in who I think. So there's where an issue where we could possibly get some extra.
Well, I'm just
points.
saying because it seems like a lot of ours, as far as who we think will win, there's some differences, but we've kind of had some similarities too. So that's interesting.
Sean, what do you got for production design?
Production design. I want Tenet, but I think Ma Rainey's will win.
Okay. And it's funny because I thought Ma Rainey in that category, I do like the production design. I just thought because of how it's limited to just like the basement and that upper studio shot, I just didn't think they would award it too
I
much.
get that, but I kind of like because I mean they did a lot with the because it was based on a play, and I kind of like
Right.
what they did with the few set pieces they had. But
all right,
we'll
moving
see.
on to
did we skip original score? I think we did.
Oh, we did. We
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
My bad. Let's
I was just
yeah,
thinking
hop
about
back down there
because I feel like
Whoops.
my pick is
Yeah.
is going to be different from yours on this one, but I do think
Probably because I've actually got who I think is going to win is going to be Minari,
Mm.
Emile Mosseri and I actually picked them as the one I want to
That's
win.
who I have want to win. I actually have Soul for best original score. I forget the what's his name? Trent Reznor.
Trent Reznor. and
He's
Atticus
been
Ross.
he's been nominated and won before, and I was just thinking about the music because none of the original scores I felt really stood out to me that much, other than
Agreed.
Minari's, which I liked but didn't think it was amazing. But I was thinking about just like some of the softer melodies in Soul, and I'm like, I kind of feel like the Academy's going to go with that one, but I could be wrong.
Sean, what do you have for?
I
score?
have Minari that I want, but I think James Newton Howard is going to get it for News of the World.
Okay, another one.
We're
where
all different on that
huh?
one.
I have listened to that. I've
But
not
we all
watched the
chose
movie.
Minari as one to win.
Yeah, I want.
The only
yeah.
Brandon gets the extra point if it does win.
Yeah, that's where they come in handy. See, it's gonna be so good. Okay, so now we're moving on to sound.
Sound.
Hopping back up
yes,
to
that one's
sound.
Sound.
That
I think
one's
we're all
easy.
probably the same on this one.
Yeah, Sound of Metal.
Both.
Want and will win.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think there's any contest.
One and
on
win. If it doesn't win, if Sound of Metal doesn't win Sound, we have a problem here.
that. Yeah, I was gonna say, and just go see the movie. It's
It's not the
self-explanatory.
only award I wanted to win, but I think it might be the only award it will win.
Will win.
Yeah.
True. Sad. Okay, now moving on to film editing. I think this is kind of a no-brainer. There were a couple different ones I could have gone with. But
Yeah.
I just think creatively you have to kind of give it to this just for it being interesting this year.
Yeah.
The Father, I think, will win and want to win.
I have the Father for Will and Want.
Okay, Sean, what about you?
I still have editing also as The Sound of Metal, but I think Nomadland will win.
Wow. Okay, so you're completely different. You
Okay.
you wanted Sound of Metal.
Yep.
But you believe
Yeah.
that Nomadland will win.
Nomadland.
Yeah,
Okay.
I loved what they did with the Father, so
Agreed.
I do want it. but we'll see.
Cinematography, I think, is going to be an interesting one where we're all different.
I agree.
I think Mank will win, but I want Nomad to win. Nomadland to win.
I had two categories that I had to debate over that I had like two of them in the same, like as will win.
Yeah.
Mank
Had to
and
pick.
Nomadland were both in there as will win, and I finally went with Nomadland as will win. So I made my choice.
Yeah.
But Mank was my runner up. But
I think this is going to be the one
Yeah.
choice where I eat my words.
but I
on
have
the night of.
Nomadland for will win and Nomadland as want to win.
Same.
Okay, good. And moving on to original screenplay.
Yeah. This is the one Brandon's gonna hate me for.
I think I will, 'cause
You know what I chose.
and I think it's terrible.
I think it's good. Okay.
It's not going to win. I think Judas and the Black Messiah will walk away with the victory. However, I do want Sound of Metal to win.
Okay. I have Trial of the Chicago 7. I think it's been hyped too much not to at this point. I think that's the one
Just
they're
because
going to
it's
throw it.
Sorkin.
Yeah, I think it'll win, and I actually put Minari to win.
That's what
I didn't-
that actually is what
I didn't
surprised
think
me the
Sound
most.
of Metal was nominated for
For
original
original, yeah,
screenplay.
it's for
It's for
original.
original screenplay.
Oh, maybe I missed
Yep.
that because I would have thought I would have picked that, but I was looking
Yeah.
at
That's why I was
Gold
surprised that
Derby
you picked
today.
Minari.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
What
might
about you,
attend
Sean?
that.
So I want Sound of Metal, but I also think Minari will win.
Oh, you do think Minari will
I
win?
think Minari will win.
that would
yeah.
actually. Okay, cool. All right.
Well, I want to. Can I? Since
You
now,
want to change it?
well, I didn't
This
think
is
Sound
the
of
time to do it
I
because this will
didn't
be on
think
the record.
I didn't think Sound of Metal was nominated for that for some reason. I must have been looking at the wrong.
I'm not gonna lie. When you put Minari, I watched it. I was like, wow, I'm
Let me. Yeah.
surprised he's going with that one. But
I don't know why. So yeah, I'm going.
You're changing that
I'm
to Sound of Metal?
I'm going to change. I'll resend it to you too.
it's on the official record.
It's
The official.
we have it live here on the show. All right, let's
yeah,
move on then
there-
to
I don't know why.
adapted.
I still think Trial will win, but I want Sound of Metal. So let's move on.
So adapted screenplay, I think Nomadland will win, and I actually want Nomadland to win. What about you, Keith?
I actually have will and want for Nomadland. I'm gonna.
Sean, what about you?
For adapted, I have Nomadland. I want. This is where we're going to be different because I think they'll give this one to One Night in Miami.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Mm.
I love this though. I love that we have these different picks. It'll be
Yeah.
good. Animated feature. Yeah.
I think we're probably all the same on this
Yeah, I would
one,
say
but
Pixar continues to reign with Soul, and I want Disney's animated studios Onward to win. Or no, that's also a Pixar film, isn't it? It was
Yes,
an early
it's Pixar,
Pixar film.
yeah.
Yeah, they
so
both are Pixar.
I would pick Onward over Soul. I know I'm way in the minority there, but I thought it was way better.
yes, it
Yep.
was.
I think Soul's gonna win though, and I want Onward.
I'm on the same page.
I think Soul will win. I want Onward. The only one I haven't seen in that category was Wolfwalkers, but I do still want to see that. It looks really good, but I don't think it's
Apple
going to.
TV Plus.
Yeah, I don't think it's going.
I
Yeah,
don't,
it is.
they,
I don't think it's going to change my mind
Yeah.
though. So.
All right, let's move on then to the big ones. Here we are in the top big five.
Oh my goodness.
Or six, not five. Sorry, I left out one major category.
Oh.
All right, let's move on to supporting actress.
Yeah, don't leave that
think
one out.
that Olivia Colman's gonna win. And she's gonna beat out Glenn Close again, who I want to win.
I actually put the same. I think Olivia Colman will win. I want Glenn Close to win.
I differed. I think Glenn Close. I want her to win, and I think she will.
Wow, you think this is gonna be it?
I
I
think
think she will.
I think they'll snub her completely.
Yep,
but we'll
because
go
of the
s-
movie it's associated with. Is the only
Yeah,
reason why.
that was what I was thinking. Yeah.
Alrighty, we'll see though. All right, let's move on to supporting actor. I actually think Daniel Kaluuya is going to walk away with the gold. However, I would actually choose Paul Raci.
Race. Yeah.
Raci.
That's actually again my picks for supporting is I think Daniel Kaluuya. This was another one where I was like Paul Raci or Lakeith, but I want Paul Raci. I wouldn't mind if Lakeith won over Daniel Kaluuya. I don't know.
I honestly, I would want if it between the Daniel and Lakeith. This is
I
another
think
reason why
Lakeith
I hate
is-
they're in the same category.
Yes, I think Lakeith deserves it more than Daniel.
I agree,
yeah.
Do you?
but
Okay.
Daniel's
Yeah.
got the bigger name. I think.
Yes, I think he's going to win it.
Sean, what about you?
We differ on that one. I want Daniel Kaluuya, and I think he will.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
He might get the extra point then. I think
Wow.
you will get the extra point because I think that's who's going to win.
I
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
I agree.
I think he was awesome in Judas and the Black
I thought he
Messiah.
was.
Well, now
I
that I know
I didn't even
that
think it was a great movie, but I thought his performance was.
now that I know we
Pretty
get
good.
extra points, I'm just going to start marking all my want to wins as the same as who I think will, whether I want them to or
Well,
not,
mean,
just so
true,
I
'cause
win
then
this
you could,
competition.
You could easily do a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Or you could be way in the tank if you lose.
in the tank, baby.
All right, and moving on to lead actress. There we are in the top four. I think Andra Day is going to get it for portraying. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting
Okay,
her
we
name.
differ on this one now.
But I want Frances McDormand.
This is another one I think Brandon knows who I picked, and he's going to hate me for it. But I really think they're going to give it to. I don't think she deserves it, but I think they're going to give
No.
it to Carrie Mulligan.
No way.
I think they will.
Not at all.
Yikes.
Nope. But you want who to win?
Frances McDormand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, what about you?
I want Frances McDormand, but I think Viola Davis will get it.
We're all different on this one.
We are all
Interesting.
different on a major category
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
Okay. Lead actor.
I think we're all the same on this one.
Chadwick Boseman, I think, walks away with it posthumously.
Mm-hmm.
However, Riz Ahmed
Yeah.
Yep.
is by far the best. pick.
That's my picks.
Same.
You got them.
All right, moving on to director. The top two. Here we are. Director. I think Chloe Zhao will win, and I do want Chloe Zhao to walk away with it for Nomadland.
That's what I got.
Same.
Think
Same.
she will. Wants she to.
Okay. Wow. All right, and then finally. This is it. This is the big one. I need like fireworks. Do we have do something on the soundboard? That's it.
That's all we
There
got.
go.
That or I mean.
This is well.
I'm as mad
No.
as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
What do you mean?
Maybe
No.
after the show.
yeah, when Moonlight happened.
I'm as
Yeah.
mad as hell, and I'm not going
That
to
was
take this anymore.
BS. But no, this is the big one. I think this is all going to be interesting.
I know I differ from Brandon.
I think we all want Sound of Metal.
True.
yes.
I want Sound
we
of
all
Metal
have
to win.
Sound of Metal. As
I
our
actually
want.
believe Judas and the Black Messiah
Oh,
will walk
God.
away.
Yeah.
with Best
Wow.
Picture.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're right,
Here's the thing.
I'll be pissed.
The only other like major category it was nominated for was supporting actor twice. And it has I think a few smaller noms, but I was like, it's mostly been neglected, and I just. While the Academy does go out in left field sometimes with Moonlight, random ones you don't think are going to win
The
because
Shape of Water.
yes,
Yeah.
based off of certain agendas.
It won Best
I just think
Director and Best Picture.
The Shape of
I
Fish,
think
Nick.
I think it's more likely for Trial of Chicago 7 to win than Judas and the Black Messiah.
Did you pick Trial?
Nope.
Oh.
No, just
Oh.
because here's the thing. I don't think it's going to win either, but I think Judas and the Black Messiah has been so neglected, whereas Trial has been so praised that they would go with that over Judas and the Black Messiah. I picked as who I think will win is Nomadland, which is
Which
kind of
has
this
been the
is
running
kind of
theme.
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think Nomadland is the safe pick like Green Book was.
Yeah.
And I think everybody picked Green Book, and I was happy that it won because I picked it, but it was milquetoast.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
But see, here's the
movie.
thing,
but
Nomadland's
I-
not milquetoast.
It's not.
No.
Yeah.
And I thought it was it's a good one. It
well-deserving,
won't
yeah.
be I won't be disappointed if it
Yeah.
wins. I will be disappointed because I lost.
Oh.
That's- Alrighty, what about you, Sean?
I have Sound of Metal, I Want, and Nomadland will win.
So you all agree on
Me and
that
Sean
pick.
might kick your butt.
You
Just
probably
saying.
will.
We should
You-
go
you
ahead and
probably
say
will.
Best Picture's worth 5 points now.
We'll discuss that after the show. It may be worth -10. Okay, if you win, you get -10 points. So that's our picks. They're sealed, signed, delivered right there for you. Our 2021 Oscar
delivered. I'm
Oh.
yours.
Oh, yeah.
Best Song right there by Keith Cheatham. I loved it. We're not going to talk about any more headlines. We got a few more, but they can wait till another day. There's probably going to be more
There's-
controversy that comes.
Yeah,
of
there's
course.
nothing really. Our other headlines weren't that major.
They weren't. Just more controversy in the news, which we don't need to get into politics. We do that too much on the show.
I mean,
But
we kind of covered some
Oscars
of one
are
of them,
political
like,
enough,
yeah.
you know?
exactly, and that's what we're going to cover next week. So get ready for our review of what the Oscars
I mean,
will
our
be
other
next week.
headlines were just more of the same of what we've discussed the last couple weeks anyway.
True.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
We've touched on it. Alrighty, guys, but you can always check it out down below in the information
We're not even
section
going to
on
tell you
your
what they
favorite
were because we don't
podcatcher
want
app.
you to dream of what could
You're
have
not,
been.
yeah. that's right. We don't. We move ahead. We move forward. Okay. We don't think about what was.
Always forward, never back.
That's right. Now let's move on
Luke
to
Cage.
our story time
How
segment.
why does the... Never mind. We got an issue here.
It's story time, where
Why?
the podcast members tell
I'm
their
gonna
stories.
Wait for Aaron to be quiet.
Aaron, be quiet.
I'm watching the live feed, and it says Minari 3 out of 4 stars down at the lower third.
What? Where?
That's what it says right down there.
That is definitely not. I don't, where? What? Hold on.
I'm watching the live show
Oh,
right
no.
Let me pull it up.
Oh no.
That's funny.
Where did it say that at? I don't think I have that even in here. Well, I'm popping it up on. I've got Oscar 2021 picks are here.
now. Wait a minute.
You're not even
I'm
watching,
the wrong damn show.
You're not even watching the right show.
Watching the wrong video.
Oh my God!
What
What
in
is
the-
wrong?
You are literally watching.
I was watching the wrong live feed the whole time.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I appreciate getting the extra views though.
Wow. Yeah, I was wondering why it said there was like 7 people watching, and now that I flip it over to the actual one, there's only 2.
Well,
I guess last week was better.
the funny thing, no, because I don't think seven
That wasn't
people were
even
watching
last
that
week, was it?
I don't what they were. That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Minari?
Dang.
That was the one we did last week.
I was
That
watching
was?
3.
Oh,
I was
wow.
watching
Yeah.
317.
It's like right there
I
on
was
the
like,
screen.
what is going on?
We got 318 right
Wow.
there.
Yeah, that was last week's episode.
I was like, when did I shave?
You didn't
Okay.
even. That's actually the.
That's bad.
That's the best part is you didn't recognize your own face.
hey, look,
Different.
Sean, it
I
says
wasn't
you're
even-
watching now.
I wasn't even looking at my
It's got,
face.
you got Sean and
Yeah,
Sebastian
Sean's
is watching
now.
You're watching 3 times apparently. It's
That's
post
great.
throwing it up there 3 times.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh.
Alrighty, here we go. Our
He's
unique,
3 of our 4.
Story time. Yeah, I'm one of.
I did
4.
put it up there 3 times. That's what I'm saying. I guess you're 3 of our 4 viewers.
Oh wow,
That would be bad.
that's bad.
That means nobody's
Oh, now we
watching.
dropped down to 3 viewers. You're all of them.
They're all of our viewers.
Wow.
Nobody's watching. All right,
All
let's
right.
move on to our story time segment. What's the most afraid you've ever been?
I don't know.
I mean, we've had all day to talk about it because
I know.
which I have to ask you all. I'm just going to ask y'all personally on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if just to see if you all have an opinion or not. Because we come up with these last minute, I figured I'd start asking you on the day of and give you plenty of hours to think about it. Do you all like that?
Great. Yeah,
Is
no, I
that
prefer
okay?
that.
You do prefer that?
I just
wanted to make sure that was all right.
I didn't know that was what we were going with. There were so many ideas thrown out that we
Well,
never
there
really,
was one in
we never actually
particular.
Some of the
stated.
ideas were not.
Yeah, some of them I knew we weren't
Yeah.
going with, but you know, we never really
Again, that's
said which one was the official idea. So
Well, I put a heart. I think I hearted it in the comments.
I was
section.
I don't know. I was
did.
working.
So-
I didn't catch all of them. I'm
But-
sorry.
But I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I've been afraid of so many things, but I will.
I mean, some of
say-
these were pretty good though.
Oh no! We're gonna.
Some of them are. Yeah.
What's the worst funeral you've ever attended?
We're gonna. Those are gonna be another time.
future ones. Okay.
I don't
we're
know
gonna-
about
we're gonna
that.
eventually
like, worse
revisit
in what
those.
way? Like
No, I'm just they're supposed to be funny. You can't say, "Oh, that guy's funeral sucked," because then somebody,
maybe you can.
somebody would be upset.
But you could use it in the alternative sense of saying, "Well, that was the worst one because it affected."
Oh, how
me the
tragic
most."
it was. Yeah.
yeah. Then we're that's yeah.
That would
That
be a
was
hard.
emotional.
That would be an
That's
emotional.
harsh.
that's
yeah.
emotional.
We want to put that one out there on
Yeah.
display.
yeah.
Alrighty, guys, let's talk about it. then.
Most
What's
scared I've ever been.
Here's the thing.
I forget about being scared. That's the thing, because like I don't scare easy, and there are times I've been scared, but then like once like I'm over it, I'm like I'm done with it. Like
You're
I don't.
not afraid anymore.
I think.
Well, and here's the thing: is it something minuscule or is it like a life or death situation?
I don't.
I guess it could
think
be
it could
either or.
I got two, so
Okay.
I
Do you
thought
thi-
somebody was about to start.
Well, no, I was gonna ask. Do you think? Well, I thought maybe you were gonna go, but do you think if he talks about his?
Well, the first one that comes to mind, I don't think is the most scared I've ever been. It's just the one that I kind of remember the most right now, and that was when we were at your house. Actually, no, okay. This one reminded me of the true one, I guess. We were at your house staying the night, kids, and we heard the noise, and we went and got
I
Chip and your
freaked out about
dad.
that. It was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
stupid.
It was funny because we heard something, and Brandon and me thought somebody had come in the house. So then when we get and got Chip, and Chip's like, okay, we'll go get Dad and check it out.
Which is so
And-
funny because we were upstairs, so to get
And
that,
I
we gotta go
spec-
through half the
half
house.
the house.
Yeah.
and
So
there's
then I
nobody there.
specifically remember Brandon being scared, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna grab my Bible for protection." And Chip's like, "Yeah, that's fine if it makes you feel better." But then Brandon's like, "Well, no, now I feel bad because I don't want to use it as a shield. If like somebody shoots at me, they'll hit the Bible." So-
I don't know.
you know. And I just remember
Little
that.
holy roller.
See, that's like I'm just picturing a meme of you holding the Bible and saying that, and then on the other side of the picture, it's that guy in Afghanistan that his Bible like took a bullet,
Yeah.
and he's just standing there like
Oh.
feeling like crap
yeah.
now that the Bible saved his life.
But springboarding off that, honestly, it was in my own home when I thought somebody had broken it almost twice.
Oh, crap.
It was just because that was the time I had recently gotten Luke and forgot my dad was going to drop off an air compressor on his way to work,
Oh yeah, you told
and
me that, yeah.
he goes in at like. He leaves their house usually at like 5, so he actually got to my house I think a little bit after 5:30. So it's like 5:30 in the morning. I'm asleep. Hear someone moving around in my kitchen, and Luke's sitting on the bed growling, and I'm like, "What the who the heck's in my house?" And I'm just like frozen at first, and Luke's like just poised. And he starts barking, and I just go, "Get him, Luke!" And he darts down the hall. I get up to get out of my bed to like grab something to defend myself with, run down the hall, and I hear my dad, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Yeah, the Bible. Whoa, whoa, whoa! It's me! And then I just hear this thumping where Luke has finally stopped and is like wagging his tail, and I was like, "Oh, good." And it's like, I'm glad my dog didn't murder my dad because he thought there was like an intruder.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't as bad. There was a similar situation where like a lot of my family had been over for the holiday, and Cody stayed overnight to go to my mom's like for Christmas the next day, but I didn't know he was still staying. I thought he left with his brother Charles, who at the time before Cody had a car would give him rides back and forth to places. So I thought Cody went with Charles and that Charles was going to take him home. So I think everybody's gone. It's Christmas Eve. I'm just chilling in the basement, and I've dropped my pants. I'm sitting down there in my underwear watching TV because I'm here alone. And start hearing footsteps upstairs. And I can tell they're footsteps. Like, they're not like the normal, like, creaking of the wooden boards up there. It's like legit footsteps. And I'm like, what the crap again? So I run behind my bar and grab one of the knives I have back there, which it's fun. They're Green Bay Packers knives. So I'm gonna be coming at with the Green Bay Packer knife, which has since told me that I probably need to get a little safe to put, like, a pistol in behind my bar so that because all my guns are upstairs. And I'm like, well, crap. Now, like, all the guns are up there where the criminal is.
And I would say your freaking entertainment room is downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Luke runs up there, and I'm going to go up there, and he stops, and he's not barking, and he stops. So I'm like, okay, who's up there? Because he would have already, like, attacked. So I peek my head around the corner, and there's Cody, and I'm like, I didn't know you were still here.
And he's like, "Why are your pants off?"
He's like, I was staying the night. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. I don't care that you stay the night. I just didn't realize that was what was happening. So
Right,
I just thought it was
right.
funny.
Sorry, I'm having some
Oh, man.
mic issues. It's the audio.
Well,
board.
those are my tales.
So Sean, what about you?
Okay, so I have two. One's minuscule when I was a kid. The other's life and death. So
Oh damn. Okay.
I've
Getting
had
serious.
I've had not really a couple. Yeah. Well, I'll get into it. So when I was a kid, I saw Gremlins at like maybe 4 or 5 years old.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
So
I used to be
back
afraid of gremlins.
back then, that movie scared the holy hell out of me.
Yeah.
And I used to go to bed and think that there was gremlins behind my bed, at the end of my bed, everywhere in my room. As soon as my parents would shut the door, I used to have a water bed, like a little twin-size water bed. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But when you have a water bed, like the headboard is usually kind of like a cabinet, and then there's a tunnel like between the wall and under the headboard and
Yep.
the water
Yep.
bed.
Yep.
So
I know
that was
exactly
that,
what you're talking
that
about.
was
'Cause Keith had one.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that
did.
was where
Yeah.
the gremlins lived back in that tunnel.
Ah.
So you never peek behind there
Oh, of course
or
not.
nothing. But one night I was laying in my bed and something like literally grabbed my feet and pulled me down under my own covers. And I mean, I swear by this. It happened. Like, I remember everything about it. And for like maybe 2 years, I would sleep like with my feet tucked into the blanket
Oh, I do that all
and
the time
over
anyway.
and over on the edge of the bed, like where the wood edge of the bed was.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
not
yeah,
I would
like-
not
like
put them
you're
down at
on
the foot
the-
of my
yes.
bed so that something couldn't grab me
Yep.
again.
Yeah.
And it was years that I slept like that, and I swore that. And
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
convinced now that it was probably my dad that did it.
Playing with you.
Yeah. Something like that. Like, I don't know. It just scared me to death, like, for years.
Holy crap!
But I
man.
love that movie. But even now, I'm 37 years old, and when I watch it, I
It
have
scares you.
nightmares.
Yeah.
I love the movie, but those freaking
I-
things scared the
yeah.
crap out of me. Not
No.
Gremlins 2, Gremlins 1.
Now the life or death
So,
situation.
The scariest, the scariest moment that I've ever had in my life was Sawyer was 2 or 3 years old. I can't remember exactly how old he was. He was really sick. He had 104 temperature. We took him to the doctor, and while we were in the doctor's office, he was burning up. He was sweating. He was Amelia was holding him in her arms with his head on her shoulder and rocking him while the doctors were, they were out in the hallway. I don't know. They were waiting for them to come in or whatever. And he literally turns purple, and his lips were as blue as royal blue.
Yeah.
And all the blood just went like out of his face, and his eyes rolled back in his head, and he was out, like not
comatose.
I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I thought he was dead. And I grabbed him from her, and I'm shaking him, and I'm trying to get him to wake up, and I lay him on the little bed that's in the the little doctor's office rooms,
Yeah.
and I'm like screaming, like, get in here, and I go out in the hallway, and I yell, I'm like, get it, so they come running in, and as soon as I get in there, they are like immediately taking his clothes off. They're trying to wake him up, and I'm over in the corner, and I grabbed Amelia, and I held her, and I remember saying, please don't take my son, like out loud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like in shock.
Yeah.
And they did turn around after it felt like minutes, but it was probably seconds.
Yeah.
But they turned around. They just said he's having a seizure, and it's they called it a temporal seizure because it's due to the brain is basically boiling because he's so hot.
Gosh.
So they said he's having a temporal seizure. He's breathing. It's okay. And we just
Trying to calm you down a
Yeah,
little
we
bit.
just need to cool him off.
Yeah.
So they bring in a cooling blanket and put it on him, and water, and all of a sudden, just in a matter of seconds,
He's
like
back.
blood starts rushing to his head, his face starts coming back into color, and he was fine. It was because his temperature got so high
high.
that his
Wow.
brain couldn't function, so he had a seizure. And but I remember sitting there thinking, this is my only son, and he's dead, or he's dying right here in front of us.
Yeah.
And I was just like, my world was gone. It was the scariest moment of my life. And I've been in a situation where I thought I was going to die in a freaking river on a kayak.
Yeah.
But that nothing compared to that moment. Like,
Well,
it
now-
was life and death.
Now
Like,
you bring up a situation where you talking about a kayak in
Yeah.
water.
Is that the most scared you've ever been?
Well, it was weird because a lot of what you were talking about, which I hate to, that would be one to end on because my gosh, I can't. It's not about topping it, but it's just like, gosh, sakes,
Like, how do you?
I've definitely never been
been
that
scared, definitely.
No doubt.
and
But,
I hope you don't ever have
no,
to be
I
that
don't.
scared.
Absolutely not. I mean,
I said the most those like. It was just me like in fear of my own life basically. I've
Yeah, I
never
can't
like,
imagine
been,
a
yeah,
kid.
as,
I
as
mean,
a
it was-
father
It
It
fearing
was
for your
terrifying.
child. Yeah.
And it was, like I said, it was like, it felt like 20 minutes.
yeah,
but it was
It's like
it was
you-
less than a minute.
You want me to
It's
tell
weird
you
how
like
time
less than a minute.
stops.
you want me
but
to tell
yeah.
you another humorous one I just thought of, maybe that'll break the ice a little bit.
Go
so you can
for it.
into
Yeah,
yours.
yeah,
I didn't mean
yeah.
to
He's
do
talking-
that.
well,
I was just being
no,
serious.
no,
he's
he's
just
that's
he was
perfect.
talking
That's what
about
it's
his
for.
first one, like the legs pulling down. I remember because I mean I've had like night terrors before where I've waken up and like just been
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
stiff and like I can't move and like you think you see something and then you find your body fully wakens up. Well, I've had that, but I had like 2:00 in the morning. I wake up.
Oh gosh.
And I see something standing at the foot of my bed, and it's actually there.
Oh, I
it's
remember
not,
this.
It's not a night terror. There's actually somebody at the foot of my bed at 2:00 in the morning staring at me, and I wake up and think, "This is it. I'm going to die now." And that's it, because I'm just like,
Well,
I just
no,
wake up
yep,
and see
yep,
this
well,
body,
yeah.
and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
I
dead.
can't do nothing.
And it was just like this acceptance, and then I look, and my eyes adjust, and I realize it's my brother Reggie, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Why are you standing there staring at me?" He's like, "Oh, I forget what he was even looking for." He's like, "I was trying to find," and I was like, "I don't know." And I was just like,
I'm out.
But
I'm dead asleep.
But it
Yeah.
scared the crap out of me, and I was like, "What the heck is this part? Like, there's some person
Yep.
standing
and
at the
he's
foot
kind
of
of
my-"
tall, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yes,
So
he is
this
very
tall,
towered
like,
over.
This
Yeah.
just tall, because I couldn't tell who it was at first. Just this tall figure looming over me, and I'm like, "I'm dead. That's it."
No, well, and actually, I do have one just like that too,
Yeah.
where it was like I was living with Chip and Wendy at the time, and it was like it was in the middle of the morning, like 4 or 5 a.m. So it was close to time that I had to be getting up anyway. But I heard like what sounded like a shotgun, and it might have been a car backfiring down the road or something. But I just heard like a shotgun blast, and of course, dead asleep. That's what I think it is. But it was loud enough in the neighborhood that I thought it was downstairs. And I just thought, I was like, it was the same feeling. It was like, Chip and Wendy are dead. He's coming upstairs, and I'm going to die. And I was like, my life is over, and I don't know what to do. I'm
And
just
you
going to
still
have
had
to
time to get
accept
out of
it.
bed and defend yourself. They were downstairs.
I
At
mean,
least
you-
mine, the guy
you
was
could
standing
s-
right in front of
You
me.
could say that, but it was the same
know.
feeling. It was like, what the hell am I going to defend myself
Yeah.
with?
Yeah.
It's like I could jump out the window,
A
maybe.
Bible.
I had to say. Well, at
I
that
love
point,
that.
it was digital. so it
like
would have
a
been
reading
a
the
grab my
Bible app.
iPad. Grab my iPad. The bullet's gonna go right through it.
But the other time was in the lake when I just got the random idea to swim across the lake.
Oh,
And
all
of
the
course
way
you're not.
across.
I
It was
remember
so
one
that
side to the
stupid,
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I want to do it just for fun.
Yeah.
And so I tried to swim across the lake, and that was fine. And then I tried to swim back.
Just remember,
to
this
get to
wasn't
the
like
boat.
at the dock where it's very
No,
narrow.
no, no.
This
It
was
was-
like
it
one
was
of
a
the
good
wider,
quarter of a mile.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
wide part of the
Yeah.
lake.
Which is stupid too, because I'm like, I don't swim. Like I can, but
You had
I
a
don't
life
s-
jacket.
Yeah,
You had a life jacket.
exactly. So
But still.
I'm barely making this trek. Like,
Across
yeah.
the lake. Slow.
And so finally, I'm like,
He
I'm
was
coming
doing it for a
back.
good half hour or longer. 'cause
Yeah.
we were over
Yeah.
there at the boat, just like he's
It's
still
like, well,
going.
He's
Yeah.
almost there.
Yeah, well, we were in like a little cove park, so I was like, "Well, we're doing stupid stuff the whole time." So I'm like, "All right, I'll swim." So I made it to one side, and I start making my way back, and then this boat's coming down the middle of the
not
lane.
funny, but
Yeah.
it's funny now.
And, yeah, trust me. And like I'm sitting here, and this boat's literally like coming. It looks like it's coming right for
we
me.
were all scared.
And,
we were
and
just
again,
like, Brandon's
you know,
gone.
And boats take like a wide turn.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
when it looks like it's coming at you from far away, it could be turning.
yeah.
But so I'm sitting here in the middle of this lake, and I'm like, all right, let's go back. Let's go back. So I start backstroking to go back to the other side because I'm like, I'm not gonna make
Yeah.
it before this boat hits me.
Yeah.
And sure enough, what pissed me off the most was the boat gets right up. I mean, probably maybe 20 yards away, 10 yards away. And it starts to finally cut because he sees me
Yeah.
bobbing up and down.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because as the boat cuts, he sits there and he waves at me and smiles and nods. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you freaking knew
got close.
the whole damn time. You saw my head bobbing there and you were just wanting to scare the hell out of me.
Oh, yeah.
Is what it seemed like, which he probably didn't see me till like
You got
you know,
closer.
really
yeah.
close.
Yeah.
But it was just, it scared the hell out of me.
We were just like, oh man, how are we gonna go back home and tell Brandon's parents that he
Well,
got
every year, I don't need to tell you, every year since
yeah.
I've been going with Keith to the lake, I mean, since even his family brought me down and his family was there, my mom's like, you be careful in that lake. You just
In
be
that lake,
careful.
You be careful. You don't swim across the lake and get hit by boats.
Like the Meg
Yeah.
is down there or
it
something.
might
Yeah.
be.
But it's
no
like-
land it might be.
She didn't have to worry about that. She just has to worry about me swimming across the damn lake.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the all-time
Oh.
favorite of just a little kid child, scaredness of werewolves. Silver Bullet. I couldn't watch that
the
movie
basement.
with the basement. I'd have to I literally would make a race to go down there and grab Cokes from a refrigerator and run back up the stairs real quick.
That's why I still to this day have not. I've seen them more than once, but I have never rewatched any of the Paranormal Activity
Yes,
since I've
yep,
owned my
yep.
house, because I'm like, you
Yep.
know, once I watch the second one, I'm never going to want to sit in the
Yeah.
basement again.
Yes, and actually, I was gonna say that's another movie where on the night that I saw the second one with Logan, one of our other good friends, my parents were on a camping trip, and I was coming down the next day to meet them. So I was supposed to go home that night and stay at my house by myself.
By yourself.
I
in the house.
stayed at Logan's,
Yeah.
and I slept there, and then I left the next day to go home and get a shower and get my clothes and go. But I was like, I'm not going home after seeing that movie by myself. Not happening. Not happening. Alrighty, guys, I think that is it. Story time segment. But of course,
Over.
if you have a story to tell, if you want to email us at rmpodcast@redmoonproductions.com, you can email us there and tell us your story. What have you been afraid of?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. we come on and
I
we
fear
grace the airwaves with our presence?
Yeah.
Does that scare the hell out of you? It
I
should.
fear
I think
it.
it has.
It will next week because we're coming back with our Oscar review.
All right, we're going to talk about the Oscars, and we're going to talk about some Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
I already know which one I'll probably
Yep.
enjoy more. I hope.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? I may enjoy
It
bashing.
can be bad, and it's still going to be better.
That's true. We shall see. But until next time, I am, of course, one of your hosts. Oh, well, real quick, just right at the bottom of your screen. You see it right there.
Bottom.
Right. Well,
I don't see it.
Bottom.
Where is it?
Keith, I'm not on you.
I- okay.
I'm on the Watch Shot
Oh.
Okay.
because it's our social.
But
Red Moon
can
book.
we I can't. Yeah, there
Red
we
Moon
go.
tweet. Yeah, there you go. It was like a little Vanna White.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Ta-da!
Yeah, a little bit lower.
I
Well,
can't. Yeah.
yeah. Red Moon Book, Red Moon Tweet, Red Moon Picks, and Red Moon Productions on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Please follow us on all of our social media accounts. Until next time, I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
And,
Babbitt bundling clump donkeys braying ultrasonic slip knuckle point slippage.
ooh, slippage.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. For more reviews, previous podcast shows, and everything Red Moon, visit our website, redmoonproductions.com. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for Red Moon Productions, LLC. We'll see you at the movies.